Good afternoon, brethren. This is Big Judah again from California, coming with another lesson. Before we begin, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. I pray that He blesses this lesson today, and that you guys, we all get some edification out of this today. All right, we're going to talk a little bit before we get into the scriptures. And I mean, a lot of Hebrews who come into the truth have this happen to them, and it's actually dealt with scriptures. You know how we come into the truth and we decide to start making changes in our lives, and people kind of give us a lot of flack for doing that. Why can we follow some of the commandments as long as we're part of some state-sponsored religion? When I let people know that I don't celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, any of those holidays, the first thing they ask is, are you a Jehovah's Witness? Let them know that I don't eat pork or shrimp, and they ask if I'm a Muslim. If you say, you do the Sabbath on Friday or Saturday, which I don't do those days, but that's another video for another day. Then they ask if you're a Seventh-day Adventist. So why is it that it's okay if we do all these different things as long as we're not following the Bible? It's okay if we do them as long as we're following some state-sponsored religion. We're going to get into that actually today. And another thing is, why do all these religions target our people? Why is it that they constantly, come into our neighborhoods, knocking on our doors, trying to get us to, join in with them? Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, Christians coming through and trying to get us, they're always trying to get us to partake in what they're doing. My son and I, we used to look for Jehovah's Witnesses coming through our neighborhood, so we could just, just get into it with them and just realize how much they don't know, but then, as you grow and you get mature in this, you understand that, they just weren't given this knowledge. So, yeah, we can do that at any time, but is that what this knowledge is for? That's part of it. I mean, we're supposed to definitely let the other people, the other nations know, where they stand as far as knowledge is concerned, but, concerning the Most High. But why is it so important that Hebrews, follow their religion? That's what we're going to get into today, because all of us has had that happen to us. Family members, friends, acquaintances. When you tell them you don't celebrate Christmas, you mean all the looks I was getting this year. They just stopped the conversation. They didn't know what to say. If it wasn't I was Jehovah's Witness and I said I follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible and I don't follow those pagan holidays, that pretty much ended the conversation right there. But let's get into this. Why it is that the other nations feel it's so important that we follow what they do. This is coming from the Revelation of Peter. Okay? Let's start right here. Okay? Others will wander from evil words and mysteries that lead people astray. Some who do not understand the mysteries and speak of what they do not understand will boast that the mystery of truth is theirs alone. In arrogance, they will embrace pride and will envy the immortal soul that has been used as down payment. For every authority, principality, and power of the ages wants to be with the immortal souls in the created world, in order that these powers, who do not come from what exists, and have forgotten who they are, may be glorified by immortal souls that do exist. That's important right there, okay? Let's look at that part one more time here. The powers of the ages wants to be with the immortal souls, that's us, in the created world, in order that these powers who do not come from what exists and have forgotten who they are may be glorified by the immortal souls that do exist. The powers have not been saved or shown the way, okay, by them, though they always have wished to become imperishable. For if an immortal soul is empowered by a spirit of thought, at once it is joined by one of those who are led astray. Okay, we're going to get into that right now. We're going to come back to this actually in a little bit, but it's important that you know that every authority, principality, and power of the ages wants to be with the immortal souls in the created world. That's why we can never live in peace. They're always coming to get us and take us into captivity, to take us with them. Okay? Because they always have wanted they want our immortality. So they can't have our immortality. So the next best thing is to take us captive and make us worship their gods. Make us worship, their days, their traditions. So they don't care if we're doing exactly everything the way they want. But as long as we're not following our power, and as long as we are following what they have deemed, correct, then they're happy. So that makes so much sense as to why they're always in our neighborhoods, trying to make sure that we don't find our way back to our power. Okay? They have not been saved. These other people, have not been saved and have been shown that they can be saved. Okay? And let's actually look at that real quick. We're going to look at that, and we're going to come back to this in a little bit. Right now, we're going to read 2 Thessalonians 2 and 11 and 12. Let me find that here real quick. We're all familiar with these scriptures here. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11. And for this cause, the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So that the other ones have not been saved, just as like I said there in the Apocalypse, which was this one again? The revelation of Peter. Okay? And that's how it is showing you. So they know that they haven't been saved. They can't be saved. So therefore, go get the ones that are saved. Go get the immortal ones. Okay? And make them follow our traditions. Okay? Now, why is that? Why is it, that everyone always wants to go and get us? I'll let you know here. It says it right here. Matthew chapter 5, verse 13. Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out, and to be trodden under foot of men. We, the nation of Israel, okay, the elect, we are the salt of the earth. Both here on earth, we do everything better than the other nations, but also spiritually, we're the ones who have been given the blessing to be able to break down the scriptures and get correct understanding. Okay, so we have. Let me move my phone here. I said we've been given that blessing. Okay, and the other nations know that. I mean, look at all the things we've done for this country. We've built this country. We've done all these beautiful things here in this country. We don't get any credit for it, but we're responsible for just about everything that's happened here in this country. The sports, the entertainment, that's all us Hebrews. Okay? But that's something there that, that they know that's why they go to get us, because we're the salt of the earth. Okay? And again, there's your reason as to why they're always in our neighborhoods. They're always making sure, they're trying to make sure that we're following along with whatever they're doing, because they know who we are. They know we're the immortal ones. Okay? And they want us to worship them. Okay? Now, let's see here. Let's see what we're going to go next here. All right, before we get into this, let's go back into the revelation of Peter here, the second paragraph here. Okay? Right here. Many others who oppose truth and are messengers of error will ordain their error and their law against my pure thoughts. Since they see from one perspective only, they think that the good and evil come from the same source. They do business in my word, and they establish harsh fate, okay, in which the generation of immortal souls will run in vain until my return. For the immortal souls will surely remain among them, and I have forgiven the transgressions into which they have fallen, fallen through their adversaries, and I have redeemed them from their slavery to give them freedom. Again, last part here. And I have forgiven the transgressions into which they have fallen through their adversaries, and I have redeemed them from their slavery to give them freedom. Okay? Now, how they take this and they make it universal and it's for everyone. This is why these kinds of things have been taken out, because it's pretty straightforward that he's going to forgive them for falling into we're falling into the traps or transgressions of our adversaries. Okay? And he's redeemed them from their slavery. Now, we're always talking about a slavery as far as a physical slavery, but it's also a mental slavery. It's a spiritual slavery as well. Okay? And he's going to give us freedom. He's going to give us freedom from the bondage physically, but also mentally and spiritually. The bondage of Christianity, of Jehovah's Witnesses, of Mormonism, okay, Seventh-day Adventists, all these different religions, Buddhism, Islam. He's given us freedom from all of that. Okay? Now, let's take a look here at the gospel of truth. Okay. Let's see here. Gospel of truth. Hold on. Right here. Okay. Right there. Those whose name he knew in advance were called at the end. So that one who has knowledge is the one whose name the Father has uttered. For he whose name has not been spoken is ignorant. Indeed, how is one to hear if his name has not been called? For he who is ignorant until the end is a creature of oblivion, and he will vanish along with it. Okay, just skip on there. Well, if not, how is it that these miserable ones have no name? How is it that they do not have the call? Therefore, if one has knowledge, he is from above. If he is called, he hears, he answers, and he turns to him who is calling him, and ascends to him. And he knows in what manner he is called. Okay, that's good right there. Okay, so that's why these other ones, these other people want us to worship them, because they're not being called. They have not been called. You know, he only utters the names of the ones who he has known from the beginning. Okay, that's the ones he calls. You know, he calls us at the end. Those whose names he knew in advance were called at the end. Straightforward. Okay, so when we came into this truth, many of us, none of us were following laws. We were doing things just like everyone else. But the Most High called us. Okay, so it wasn't by something that we did to earn this calling. We had already been pre-selected from before we even gotten here, from the foundations of the earth. So, you know, those are the ones who are being saved. Okay, the ones that he's calling to give knowledge to. You know, and Paul was referring to a lot of these things. That's why his readings are so hard to understand sometimes, because he's referring to a lot of different books. But let's go over this here in Ephesians chapter 2 and 8. Let me get this here real quick. Ephesians 2, verse 8, 8 through 10. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of the Most High, not of works, lest any man should boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Mashiach Yahushai unto good works, which the Most High hath before ordained that we should walk in them. Again, before ordained. We were already picked to come to this. Okay? So, for by grace. So I'm going to make sure that I accept the grace that the Most High has given me through Mashiach Yahushai, you know, and be happy. I'm not boasting on anything, because I have done nothing to deserve, you know, the grace that he's given me. He's just chosen me, and I thank the Most High that he has. And he's chosen a lot of you brethren for the same thing. You know, if you're watching this video and you're in the truth and you're looking for deeper knowledge, he's called you to go even deeper. Okay? And that's what we're getting into right now. We're getting into a lot of different books, and, you know, and a lot of predestination is actually, Paul talks about predestination quite a bit. But when you start getting into the other books, it starts to make a lot more sense. You know, you hear about it a little bit. The people talk about, yeah, it was, you know, preordained, but they don't really go into it that deep. But you start going to the other books, it's very evident of the whole predestination. Okay? Now, let's take a look here at John chapter 15, verse 16. John 15 and 16. We're all familiar with this. I've brought this out a few times already. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you, that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. Now, again, chosen to be redeemed, to bear fruit. That's when you get into this knowledge. You know, we're all picked to do certain tasks. Okay, some are given 2 talents. You know, and in my opinion, a lot of the people with the 2 talents are to bring back Israel to the physical knowledge of who they are, the physical knowledge of the understanding of, yes, we're not Gentiles, we're Israelites, we're God's chosen people. You know, and that's a very huge and very important job that they've been given. The ones with 2 talents, they're just as important as just about everyone else. You know, I had to learn. I learned from the camp brethren. I sat there for a couple of years, listened to a lot of their videos religiously all the time. Okay, but you got to understand that there's levels, of course, okay, to this. And when you get called, sometimes you get given 2 talents. Some people get given 5 talents. And 5 talents, I would say, were to bring back Israel spiritually to the spiritual understanding of who they are in the immortal realms. You know, they were before they got here. Okay, so once you find out that you're Israel, if you're called, you go even deeper and start getting some more information about the spiritual understanding, where we came from before we were born. Okay, now, to bear fruit, what is bearing fruit to the Most High? Okay, if it's not about money, it's about, if you go with actually Jeremiah 9:23, it talks about knowledge and understanding. Okay, and before we're not going to go there, but we're going to go to Isaiah 49:5. Okay, Isaiah 49:5. And now saith the Lord that formed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him. Though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Most High, and my God shall be my strength. This is how you bear fruit, okay? By bringing Israel back to the knowledge of themselves. Now, some brethren are called to bring back the knowledge of who they are physically. Some brethren are called to go deeper and bring back Israel to who they were spiritually before they came here. You know, so you get into more spiritual and deeper understanding. Okay? How do I know this? This is like a twofold understanding. Let's take a look at Matthew chapter 25, verse 31. It's one of my favorites here. Okay? Matthew 25:31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. Okay? Now let's skip on down. Okay? Well, let's just keep on going. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come ye blessed of my Father, and inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. This is a place that's already prepared. Okay? For I was hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungered, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee? Okay? Or when saw we thee sick, or in prison, and came unto thee? And the king answered and said unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Now, when it's talking about when you were naked and you clothed me, he's talking about knowledge. He's not talking about physically going and giving someone clothing. That's what the Christians do. Okay? They think that they're giving, going to prisons and helping in their prison ministries and giving food to the homeless or to the needy, that's what the Most High was talking about. He said, when I was hungered and you gave me meat, more food, more knowledge, understanding. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. They were looking for something, and we gave them knowledge. Some of us give them physical knowledge. Some of us give them spiritual food, spiritual drink. Okay, that's what it's talking about. How do I know that? If you look here, if you go to Matthew 7, let's see here, and 21. Okay, Matthew 7 and 21. This is how you know that he's talking about something spiritually. This is what the other nations do. They do this physically. Okay, not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. And the will is to bring the Most High. Bring his children back to him, as it talked about in Isaiah 49:5. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works. There's your many wonderful works. There's going to your prisons. There's giving out food. There's giving money. There's doing all, handing out clothing. There's all your works right there. Okay, and then what's he going to say to them? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. These people were not called Just like we went over the gospel of truth. They were not called. So the things that they're doing has nothing to do with the Most High. Okay? The people that he's called, those are the ones that are able to bear fruit. Only the ones that are called are the ones able to bear fruit. These other ones can do whatever they want. The Most High says, I never knew you. I never called you. You do that stuff, but I didn't tell you to do that. Okay? Now, that's how we know the difference between, the spiritual understanding of these scriptures and giving understanding and knowledge, and the physical understanding of what these things mean. And that's what the other nations do. They worry about the physical, manifestations, okay, of these prophecies. Okay? Now, something I want to get into, I'm almost done here, is the apocalypse of Elijah. Look at this right here. A couple things I want to show you guys out of this here. Okay? I'm going to start right here. Apocalypse of Elijah. What is prepared for both the sealed and the sinners? Remember that he has prepared thrones and crowns for you in heaven, saying, everyone who will obey me will receive thrones and crowns among those who are mine. Look at that. Among those who are mine. Those are the only ones who are going to get, okay, the thrones and crowns. The Lord said, I will write my name upon their forehead, and I will seal their right hand. And they will not hunger or thirst, neither will the sun of lawlessness prevail over them, nor will the thrones hinder them, but they will walk with the angels up to my city. Now as for the sinners, they will be shamed, and they will not pass by the thrones, but the thrones of death will seize them and rule over them because of angels who will not agree with them. They have alienated themselves from his dwellings. Before you move here, look here, look over here. Look, get this right here. These are Bible verses, okay, that refer back to the apocalypse of Elijah. You got these right here. You got 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. This is App of Paul, is the apocalypse of Paul. But go on down here. You got Second Timothy. I'm gonna say Philippians, 3rd Maccabees. You got Jeremiah, Ephesians, Jasher. Go over here as well. Okay, we can get up here. Ephesians, Malachi, Joel. Okay, brethren. So back here again, you can see how these verses here are from the Bible are referring back to the apocalypse of Elijah. Okay. If you take a look over here, I have an old Bible. It's over 140 years old. It does the same things. If you look in the middle, here's the gospel over here of St. John. Okay, you can see the middle right here, all the different precepts all over the place, okay, to these scriptures right here. There you go. Okay, so you can see all these different precepts right here. Okay. So if you look in these kinds of books, you'll see there's actually precepts all over the place here. But in closing, I just want to finish up here with now I hope you realize why it's so important for you not to be snared in one of these religions. Okay? They get the praise, they want the praise from the immortal souls. Okay? They've always wanted to be us. Next best thing than being us is making sure that we give praise to them and their gods. That's why we get Caesarea. So we get all these in Christmas, we get Thanksgiving, we get all these different things. Okay? So that's what they're looking for. And then when we come back to the truth, they know they lost one, or they lost another one, they lost a family, they lost some children, and it pains them. I pray that you brethren continue in your studies and continue going deeper. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day. Shalom.